guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're staying safe, that everything is going well with you. So I promise this is going to be a last intro for any cooking tutorial. It's just to give you updates and things that I'm going to be doing. So I decided I'll only be posting once a month because I'm so busy. I have a lot to do. And yeah, so in this tutorial, I basically explain how to cook waakye, as we call it in Togo, or waakye as Ghanaian people call it. But yeah, and I just wanted to let you know that in my cooking tutorial, it's going to be like how normal people cook, because my first tutorial, I was trying to, be like, you have to measure this cup and then this one and then this one, and it was so complicated and it took me long. It was hectic. It was everything you can imagine. So I just decided to cook it how I would normally cook it off camera, so that you guys can understand. But in case you're the kind of person you need to know how much you need to put and all that, please leave a comment and I will gladly explain, try my best to explain. But yeah, without further ado, enjoy the video. Bye.
So the first step you need is to have your black eyed peas. Make sure it's black eyed peas, the beans. Make sure it's black eyed peas. Then you go ahead and pour it in the bowl and wash it. By the way, I measured like 4 cups for this video. So you go ahead and wash it. I even went off camera and washed it better. Then after you finish washing, you pour in some water. I didn't really measure how much, but you can deduct from what you see in this video. Then you want to put it on your stove, turn on the stove, cover it and let it boil. So you just leave it until it starts boiling. Let it sit until it starts boiling, and once it starts boiling, you will go ahead and put in something we call in Ewe akam, but then you can literally use baking soda because not everybody have access to this. So baking soda also works fine. It's basically to give it a color. The color is very important for the waakye. You don't want your waakye to be white. Then once it starts boiling, it will look something like this, and then I let it sit for about 20 to 25 minutes. It really doesn't matter. You just want to keep checking it and testing your beans to make sure that it's not well too cooked. So this is what I do basically. I put it in a plate, I squeeze it, and I fill it. Once I'm like, oh, it's almost cooked, then I'm like, okay, it's time to put it in my rice. So I went ahead and added like a bit of water because I need to add in my rice and I don't have enough water. But if you already have enough water, you're fine. So I measured for this one, I measured 4 cups of rice, but if it's really up to you. Me, I like my beans to be more than the rice, so I actually, to be honest, I reduce some of the rice after this. So you will wash your rice and then you will pour it inside the beans. So yes, I went off video to put in the remaining of the rice. You don't want to waste. And you will go ahead and mix, so that you make sure that the rice is everywhere and well mixed. Then the following step is to put in your salt. Really, I made this video the same way I would cook because I think measuring is way too much. So you just put it in the salt to your likings. So I do this and I taste and make sure that it's enough. If it's not enough, I add a bit more. So you mix it and you will make sure that you keep your fire on high for the moment because you want it to start boiling. So you keep it on high and then you cover it, and about 5 minutes later you check it. When it starts boiling, then you mix it again, and then at this particular time you want to lower your stove, put it on low, because really this rice cooks with vapor, not so much with the fire. So once you keep it on low, you will cover it and let it sit for about 30 minutes. That's what I did. Okay, so while you wait, this is the next thing you want to make. How to make your shito or fion fion, as we call it in Togo. You will need your dry fish and your dry shrimp, your pepper, hot pepper, make sure it's hot spicy pepper. You will need ginger, and you will need onion. So the two ingredients you can't have too much of is the ginger or the pepper, because those two are super hot, and the too much ginger will make it bitter, so you don't want too much ginger. So to be honest, I reduced the amount of ginger that I had in when I was making this part of the video. So you go ahead and clean your onion, and you start cutting it because you want to blend it. You don't want to put it as a whole. So you clean your onion very well. You cut it in 4 or to your likings, and yeah. So this is basically how I do it. I just wanted to show you. So you cut all of it, and you can put as much onion as you want. Actually, this time I didn't want to put too much, that's why. So the next thing is your ginger. I really hate peeling off the skin of the ginger. So I use something we call in Togo gabi kusan. So it's like this metal thing, like sponge thing that you use. So I just like grate it with that to remove some of the skin. You don't have to remove the entire. Some people really take their time to, like, remove the to peel off the skin. But to be honest, really, I I really don't like doing that. It's too much work. Then after that, you will go ahead also cut in small pieces, cutting your ginger in small pieces, because again you're going to blend it, so you need to be cut. So yeah, I cut them, like all of them, but again I honestly had to remove some because this was way too much ginger, too many ginger. Then the next step is um with your pepper. Also, this pepper was too much. Thank God I reduced, otherwise everybody in the house was going to kill me. But yeah, I used about five pepper. As you can see here, I literally only used five because it was too hot. Then you want to blend it. So what I do, you don't want to blend it with water, because that's just gonna make you the process of making your shito too hard. So since I know that, I actually learned this through this video. Since I realized that the onion has some water, what I did is put in one ingredient, which for this one I put in the pepper. Then I added onion on top of it. Of course, I added a bit of oil because, as I say, you don't want to use water. Water will make the process too hard. So I use the onion as my water, and then some of the oil for this. Since the pepper wasn't that much, I just put like some oil. Then you go ahead and you cover it, and then you want to blend it. It took me a while to cover this thing. I don't know why, because I think I put a bit too much. So after you do that, then you blend it. So I'm just showing basically. So you keep, once you put it, it will be like you have to keep mixing. You guys already know the drill about how to blend. So yes, yeah, after you blend it, you want to pour it in a bowl for the moment. So put it in a bowl, so you continue blending the rest. So after I did that, then the next one that I put was my dry fish and my dry shrimps. Then I put in again some onion. So you want to divide the onion in, like, each time you put, so that it's like your water, some of the water. So this one I put a bit too much oil, because the shrimps and the dry fish are very dry, so it takes them longer to it needs more water. Then yes, I blended that. So after the blend, the next thing is to put in your bowl, or in some oil, let it become hot, about 2 or 3 minutes. Once it's hot, then you pour in everything you have blended in. Yeah, you just pour it, all of them, just pour them. um then you want to mix it. So you're going to mix it, and yeah, this is where the whole process starts. You will be mixing it for about, I don't know, this thing, it really doesn't have like a time, because it had to change color. I'll show you once the color change, you will see what I mean. So I went to my rice after the 30 minutes. It was cooked. I literally did not have to mix. Once I show you guys, I really did not mix it anymore. Once I covered, it was covered like that, and it will cook. As I said, it cooks with vapor, so we don't want to keep mixing it. I used to, when I cook, I used to always mix, but then it will not look that good. So yeah, I'll advise you to just do as I did, at least for the waakye in this video, perfectly. This way you will have a perfect waakye. Then these are like some extra thing that I wanted to add to my waakye. So I like gari. Gari is dry cassava. Is it? Yes, dry cassava. So we eat it together with the waakye, but you can literally eat your waakye without any extra thing. I wanted to also make to put in some pasta, the spaghetti, but then yeah, it was a bit too much work. You guys already know how to cook it, so if you want, you can have some pasta to the side, and then you have your gari to the side. So this is how I make my gari. You put it in the bowl, you put in some water. You don't want to put too much water, so you have to be putting like a bit at a time and mixing it and filling it. and it should look like this. And so I made my tomato sauce. If you guys want me to make a video about how I make my tomato sauce, don't hesitate to put it in the comments and I will do it. So I'm using some oil of my tomato sauce that I have, tomato stew, actually tomato stew. So you use it, using that oil, you don't want to put too much oil. I feel like I put a bit too much of that in this video. So yeah, using that oil, you mix it so that you give it this beautiful color, orange color to the gari. I was tired of using my spoon, so as you can see, yes, I went ahead and used my hand. Of course, I washed my hand. Remember, wash your hands. So yeah, you want to mix it, and then it will give you this beautiful color of the gari that you can later on put in as extra on your waakye. Okay, so that's done. So while I was doing this, I kept mixing my shito. So as you can see, it will start changing color. So it really does not depend on like how many minutes you let it sit. It's really about the color. So you will keep mixing it from time to time. I had to lower some my fire so that it's not burning. But yeah, make sure you mix it from time to time. So the end should look like this. So this is like the final color of the shito. It should look like this. So for this video, I tried to serve because my rice is ready, my waakye is ready, my gari is ready, my shito is ready. So what do? We serve. So I try to serve it many different ways. This is really how I serve myself when I'm going to eat. But then you will see a second part where I kind of serve it like in a fancy restaurant. I don't know if it's really fancy, but you get the point. So yeah, you put in your waakye, put on some gari. If you had some pasta, you just also put it on the side, and you put on your shito. The order does not matter; it's all up to you as long as everything is on there. You put in your shito, you put on your tomato sauce. I had the fish, so this is the fancy part. I try my best. I really don't care about how my food looks. As long as it is good, I am okay. But then for the sake of the video, I try my best to look fancy. Please don't judge. But yeah, I went ahead and do the same thing. Put on my gari, put on my shito, then put on my tomato sauce, and then put on the fish on the side. And yeah, voila, your waakye is ready and ready to be eaten, deliciously ready.